Greetings from Marrakesh, Morocco. I'm here to give a little demonstration of the new Kona Magic Link suspension available on the 2008 Coil Air models. The Magic Link is this black piece that I'm pointing at here, and you can see that the Magic Link itself actually pivots on the frame, but the chainstay pivots on the Magic Link. Also, the lower shock mount is attached to the Magic Link, as well as what we call the auxiliary shock here. And now you're probably wondering, with all these different things connected, what this actually does and how it works. What the Magic Link concept is by having the chainstay bolted to this moving part, we are allowing the forces, the braking and pedaling forces that are affecting the rear wheel, to be input into this link, and therefore manipulate the spring rate, the amount of travel, and the geometry of the bike according to the needs of the rider. This happens automatically. You don't have to stop and turn anything on or off. It's simply a response to the forces that are acting on the rear wheel. And for example, I'm going to remove the bolt from the auxiliary shock here and show you how this works. The auxiliary shock is bolted to the link here in one of two positions, you can see, and I'll go into that later. I'm just going to take it out so you can see how the Magic Link actually moves. Obviously, when this bolt is in, it has to compress this auxiliary spring to move. So what we have, since the chainstay is bolted to the Magic Link, let's see, the link is to the rear. When you pedal, the pedaling force on the rear wheel will have a tendency to push the link forward. When the link is pushed forward, you'll see that there is roughly a straight line from this bolt down to there, making the length between there and there the longest it possibly can. When that happens, the geometry of the bike steepens up, the head tube and the seat tube angles, putting the rider in a much better position for pedaling or climbing, because your seat will be more directly over the pedals, your weight will be more directly over the bars, so you're in a much more efficient pedaling position. At the same time, that chain force keeps this link forward, preventing this spring from compressing and preventing the Magic Link from moving to the rear. That means that you are dependent only on the main shock for your suspension travel. So when the link is forward, the main shock is the only thing providing travel, 6 inches of travel, at a stiffer rate. I say a stiffer rate because when you move the link to the rear in response to bump forces, we are compressing this spring at the same time, which provides a softer initial spring rate and more suspension travel. And again, if I move the link from forward to rear, and you look at the rear tire, you can see it coming up. That's the extra travel that's available when the Magic Link moves. At the same time, the head and the seat angles relax. So when you're descending or hitting rough bumps, you get more suspension travel. It's plusher at the beginning of the travel, more of a rising rate for bottoming resistance, and slacker head and seat tube angles. Another benefit is because this moves the chainstay pivot to the rear slightly, you actually get a longer chainstay length, which again, for descending and high-speed stability is good. When you're climbing and you have that link forward, you have the shorter chainstay, the steeper angles, your weight's more to the forward, shorter and stiffer suspension travel, everything that's going to be a benefit to you while you're climbing. So really we have the best of both worlds. We have a bike that climbs better than the 07 Coiler, and we have a bike that has more travel, is plusher, and descends better. There are a few adjustments that are important to get the Magic Link to work correctly. You can see that there's 2 holes that we can put this bolt into. A heavier, more aggressive rider will use the upper hole, which will offer a stiffer response. A rider that's maybe doing some more casual trail riding might use the lower hole for more supple response over small bumps. Again, the upper hole for a rider weight of over maybe 80 to 85 kilos, you might start to use the upper hole. If you're lighter, you would use the lower hole. We can also adjust the spring preload using this knob. Again, a lighter rider, you would run less preload. It will allow the link to move to the rear more easily. A heavier rider will want more preload just to keep the link from moving to the rear too easily. The final adjustment that we have, you can see there's a little wing nut shaped knob on the front here. This knob limits the forward motion of the link. For example, now without the bolt, we can make this link go too far. You can see that if we drew this straight line, this lower shock bolt would be in front of that line. When it's in that position, when the wheel hits a bump, the link wants to stay forward. And so you won't get the extra benefit of the extra travel. So we always adjust this top out knob to make sure that that bolt is slightly behind this straight line. What that does is by being slightly behind, whenever you hit a bump, the link is already in a position where it's going to compress the auxiliary spring, give you that softer initial travel and more progressive travel. Other than that, you would set your sag as you normally would on a normal bike, about 25 to 30%. And then you just ride it and enjoy it.